All right, today I wanted to cover a few things here on the wire harnesses that we have out there. I did grab a snowblower block. This is one of the most common blocks we use. We do have other style blocks, but I wanted to go over our new plug, the wire harnesses that we have, and just some quick information that will help you if you're having trouble with any of your product. We have three common harnesses that we use on different products. The snowblower has 4 functions is what we call it, and so we're going to have 4 style plugs. These 4 plugs are going to have a hot and a ground. They need to control the left, the right, the tip shoot up, and the tip shoot down. So that's why we call it 4 functions. It's not one function is just the rotate or the tip. It's basically per direction. So left is one function, right's one function, tip shoot down is one function, tip shoot up is another function. The 2 style harness that we use is going to be used primarily for our sweeper and also our soil conditioner. So basically what we'll see there is 2 functions, which is going to be on both of them, a left and a right. And then a single switch is used for our tree shear and our dozer blade. And this is just to turn on a valve so that we can operate one function, and then we use our control inside our cab to make the function go left and right. So we just switch between the 2 functions, whether it's the tilt or the left and right. So that's what a single switch is for. So this is going to be our new style plug, and this is going to be on everything that we have. The nice thing about this is it's basically a plug and play, quick disconnect right at the cable. And every single harness that's on the machine will come set up with this plug on the end. What this does is allows when you get your machine, this is going to be there, this will show up, and then you're going to be able to just plug this in, depending on the model of machine you have. If you have a 14-pin or an 8-pin plug, this will be different. Or depending on the model or a high flow model, the setup will come that's equipped for your machine to work. The nice thing about this is as you change machines or you have 2 machines, you can order a different style plug and you'll be able to just quick change it and be able to use it now on the other machine. This plug will be hanging out by the hydraulic hoses and it'll be really quick and easy to change out depending on what setup you have. This here is our hand control. This is set up so if you do not have electronics on your machine, you can basically use this hand control and it will control 4 functions. There's up, down, left, right. So you got 2 switches, 4 functions here. This will also plug right into basically your harness. The plug on the end there will be the same as this. So this is going to be what's on the snowblower unit, and this will plug right in. So when you need to have hand control because you do not have the controls to run it inside your machine, you can buy this option, and it's a plug and play also, very easy to use. So the other option we have is a single switch control, which this is set up for when you just have to turn on something and off something, just like a dozer blade or a tree shear. This will also have this plug on the other side, the female to this, so it's just a plug and play. So it will be really easy to use. You'll just, when you get your attachment, you'll be able to plug that in, run this harness in your cab where you want it, into the battery, and you'll be all set up to go. Okay, I want to go over how these harnesses work and what do they control. The few questions that come up is a lot of guys think that they have a ground to the body of the machine, and it does not work that way. All these harnesses plug into the block Deutsch connectors like so. And what they do is they basically send a positive and a negative to create a magnetic field that then will slide the plunger in here forward or backwards, and that's what makes the fluid go to your rotation motor or to your tip chute. Now, this is a snowblower block, but it's the same concept across all our blocks. We have what we call the stem valves, and around that is what we have is the coil packs. The coil packs are what energize the stem valve. So when the magnetic field's created, it then pulls that magnet in there, making it function. So it's very important. On a lot of times we get a question on like, hey, my machine's not working. Why isn't it working? I got a function, or all my functions are dead. If you lose all your functions, it's most likely the fuse is either blown, or a bad ground, or a bad hot. If something like that is gone, you lost all your functions, you're missing something. A lot of times we check the ground first because to lose all, it normally is a ground problem. So it's very important that your ground is good, where you have your stuff set up and that your hot is good. Both of them is going to be very important to making these work correctly. So make sure that you check make sure your connections are very good and that the power is set up the way it should be. If for some reason you're not sure if you have power or do have power, if you have a wire tester, it's a really simple way to test. You can pull out one of these Deutsch connectors. They're going to be the same on this. They're going to be the same on our soil conditioner. They're going to be the same on our sweeper. There's just going to be less or more of these. A simple way to check it is there's a little tiny plug here on the end, and you can just remove that by popping this out. Then inside here, you're going to see two metal wire connectors. You can touch them off to a wire tester, and that way you're going to be able to then push inside your cab the button and tell if you got power down here. You should have a good strong 12-volt signal. If it's showing up 9 volts or something, you have a bad connection. You need to make sure that you have a good connection with full 12 volts so that these will energize like they need to. When you're done with this, just go ahead and put this back in. Make sure the rubber grommets on there. You don't want water getting in there. One other thing I want to talk a little bit is about our 14 and 18 pin connector on your Bobcat or whatever brand machine that you have. It's very important that these pins are pushed all the way in and that they're all the way to the front. If one is down in, you can see they're just recessed a little bit, but if you see it back further than another one, there's a good chance it's not making contact, and it's very important that it is. So the way that you can always take a look and just kind of look at these face here, you can see they all look even and uniform, and that's the way they should look. So it's something very important to take a look at. If for some reason you have to remove these or move the location of the pin, it is very simple. You're basically going to loosen up these bolts right here, and you're going to spin this off. I have one set up here so we can just kind of take a look and see how easy it really is. You can see this here. This just goes on like this. Make sure this is loose while you're either connecting this or disconnecting it, because you'll spin the wires and end up tearing them off if you do not. There's a retraction tool, we call it, for removing the pin. It's very important that you get around the wire in here. Push it all the way down. When it's all the way down, it will be close to just about touching, just about to there. Then you pull on the wire, and it will come right out. If you go to pull on the wire and it's not moving, you need to push this in further because it's not down to where it needs to be. You shouldn't have to force this in. If you're forcing it in, you'll probably damage the retraction tool. This is an 8-pin. The 14-pin works exactly the same way. You follow the wire into the hole, put the wire into the slot like that so it's nice and straight. Make sure that's down. You pull it, it will come right out. To put these back in, you do not need the retraction tool. You're just going to take this and push this straight back down inside here. If you're having trouble getting in there, this one's in all the way, but you can take a little tool and get down alongside there and help push it down inside so that you get it all the way down into where it needs to be. 14-pin works the same way.